want to welcome everybody into Wagler Motorsports Park here in Lyons, Indiana. And Mitch Stott, we are back at a absolutely great facility that I just absolutely love.
David, this is, in my opinion, one of the premier facilities that we go to throughout the year based on racing surface, overall facility, clean restrooms, nice flat area, beautiful grass. Absolutely, you know, Midwest, gorgeous location. Produces, last year, you know, we had like a record number of people. We had approximately 2,000 people come to an inaugural event. You know, if that don't say something about this area and the racetrack, I don't know what else does. So hats off to certainly the new owners for this racetrack. I know that they're making improvements. And, you know, I'm just so happy to be back.
Well, and talking about being back, we are back with more cars. We're over double the number of cars. I think last count we were at 48 gassers. With the AFX cars, we're definitely over 50. And we have had an outstanding response so far by a crowd coming in today.
Definitely. You know, our racers are certainly dedicated to the Southeast Gassers Association making these long treks, but we can't forget Southeast Gassers does have racers that make long treks down south, because we have racers pulling from all over the country. So this is kind of just scratching their back, of course, but again, it's a beautiful place. So glad to be here. Thankful to our racers for being dedicated and making that trip. You know, it's just, as always, we're just blessed with everything that God has provided us with in the Southeast Gassers Association.
And this is race number 6, fans, and this starts the back half of our schedule, and I know that brings it forth even more, the points championship.
It does. This is the downhill side. You know, there's this is where the points, I think, really start to change, because your points leaders now, they have their method. You know, I think they're probably comfortable where they're at. And that being said, you know, if we go through our 3 classes right now, you've got Kenneth Phillips in A gas points leader, and you've got Todd Blackwell in B gas points leader, and you've got Larry Noel C gas points leader. The only one that's really got the noose kind of around his neck right now is Larry. He's 5-point lead, Larry Noel and C gas. The other two, you know, they got him a little bit of a spread, but, you know, still yet the end of the season, that is the put up or shut up. That is the focus or fold time when you take now and you say, I want that championship and I'm going for it. So this is when it gets really, really interesting.
Well, I'm excited to see the action today. We've got more cars, faster cars. We've got the emergence of a lot of new cars coming out here to the Midwest. What do you say we go racing?
Buddy, it couldn't be a better time. Let's do it.
And Mitch, starting out right here in C-Gas, there's our defending race winner right there from last year, John Gilligan taking on Travis Owen.
David, John Gilligan, I think last year's race with us here was his first event with us, and yes, he came out of the gate, you know, winning, and hey, he has just put one of our regulars, Travis, on the trailer, so John Gilligan may be looking to repeat that win.
Yeah, looking good right here. And there's a new car coming out with us, Dwight McGuire in a 47 Nash Rambler.
David, I wish I had more time to talk about that 47 Nash, as I had spent quite a bit of time with Dwight on the trip up here. What a unique car, full of history. It was based out of northern New York. Not to go on about this car, but it is such a timepiece. You cannot believe every piece of that car that was done in the 60s is still there. Moving on, Rick Cathcart, B.B. Brown, Paradise Drag Strip Deputy Dog. David?
B.B. Brown, just a great-looking race car. Got that petty blue on there, but I tell you what, Rick Cathcart, too much for him on this run. As you see that 49 Studebaker get those wheels up in the air and take the round victory right here.
Rick Cathcart has really stepped that truck up this year. He has beat a lot of tough competitors, making rounds. Josh Pruitt, Rita Frazier, that is another one of the females, obviously, on the race scene. Her and Cynthia Phillips, Rita in C-Gas as well, and still working on some bugs, trying to get that old hot rod down the racetrack. Josh Pruitt on the way to a round 1 victory.
Yeah, Josh looking real good right there, as he was one of our top 4 qualifiers for this event. And as you said, Rita just still working out those bugs. There's Alan Barnes with the first lady of the Southeast Gassers, Miss Cynthia Phillips, in that Flower Power.
Cynthia Phillips, you can see her kind of struggling to get that thing in gear, but it's not really what you call a struggle. It's just the mechanical means that these cars are driven by. Cynthia should have that car solidly in gear and ready to put a whooping on Mighty Mouse Alan Barnes over there from what it's looking like. Good solid gear changes on Cynthia's part, down the racetrack, round 1 win. Not sure what was going on with Alan over there, David, but some sort of issue.
Yeah, the new horsepower she's got under the hood, Tom White doing a great job with that. Tony Zampata out of Chicago, Illinois, taking on Hamilton, Ohio's Jack McDaniel right here.
David, I don't know how you keep up with all of these names and cities they come from. I guess doing the announcing in a tower, but you're exactly right. Tony Zampata, this little old Henry J that he's running, this should be a good drag race. Not sure what the outcome's going to be. Tony having some smoke. Don't think there was anything left on the racetrack.
Yeah, and look at this one-way technology finish line photo right there. Well, Mitch, would you look at here? B Gas got 2 solid color Chevy 2s and 2 of the ones that I think are just beautiful. Art Beeler out of South Beloit, Wisconsin, and he's taking on James Beard out of Ripley, Tennessee in that obsolete 2.
David, as you said it, 2 solid color cars in a really exotic color world in the 60s, but you did have that. So these cars are just representative of the 60s as anything else out there, and 2 prime examples and 2 wonderful people driving those cars. Joey Precise, Adam Lowhorn. Adam Lowhorn, the burnout king, he calls himself, about 18 years old or so, can stand this car on its rear bumper, taking on the Widowmaker. I don't know how this one's going to go, but I tell you, it's going to be a good drag race. These 2 cars are pretty closely matched.
Yeah, the Rod Slinger of Adam Lowhorn and the Widowmaker of Joey Precise, and the big red light catches Joey Precise, and Adam Lowhorn is going to advance to round number 2.
Good job for Adam. Those guys live somewhat close by. We kind of hung out with them a little bit on the way up. We stopped in, so good job for him. Sam Gable, Danny Bird.
Man, the moonshot car of Sam Gable, you guys may recognize that. That's the former double down car of Todd Oden, now in B-Gas. They're going to call it the moonshot, out of the Village Garage and Customs in Atlanta, Georgia. And he's got no easy run right here as he gets Danny Bird.
Danny Bird, an older statesman in our event and a past drag racing pro stock. He's been in a little bit of everything. And, brother, he knows how to conduct a drag strip. Doug Dobbins, Zach Hall. Doug Dobbins, this guy is kind of up there in the points. He's last year's points champion. He needs this round terribly bad to be able to stand up and continue to challenge current points leader Todd Blackman.
Right in there getting staged up right now, Zach Hall.
In the homegrown 57 Chevrolet, David. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Doug Dobbins has wasted his opportunity to close the gap on Todd Blackwell, giving Zach Hall the win.
Yeah, Doug Dobbins, don't know, looks like the car just rolled through the beam. Mitch Stott, here we go right here in A-Gas. Pawpaw Spinny, Steve Davis out of Monroe, North Carolina. He's going to be taking on Ernie Smith, the hired gun in that Bounty Hunter car out of Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Ernie took over the driving seat for Quain's racing operation this year, and they've just struggled. I don't think it's necessarily Ernie's fault. It's one of them things that something just tremendously let go in Ernie's car. Steve Davis taking the win. You can see the sparks. That is definitely bell housing related, David. I don't know what it was specifically, but that certainly come from the bell house.
Tony Turner in the left lane in the quick and dirty. He's going to be taking on Kenneth Phillips in that 58 Corvette, and he has a tall order right here, Mitch.
David, Kenneth's job here is just to safely win round 1. He has a very healthy lead on the points. As we was talking earlier in the introduction, he really doesn't have any real threats on him. All he needs here is just a good, clean win. Just go down the racetrack.
Oh.
But he is asleep at the wheel somewhat, and I do believe Tony Turner is fixing to capitalize, and he has.
Look at the whole shot advantage that big 39 Dodge gets, and a great run. And look at that finish line camera right there by One Way Technologies.
Tony Turner, this may be the win of the century, taking out points leader points leader Kenneth Phillips, who, brother, has been a holy terror. And Tony Turner, quick and dirty, you were, buddy. You put him out.
We put a hex on him. Miss Kim put a curse.
I tell you, I don't know what to say. That was a very good win for you, Tony. This just could be the day for the quick and dirty Dodge.
The car was hooking up, and they told me in the staging lanes down there when they had the oil down that when the car won't hook in 3rd and 4th gear, take a click out of the compression, and we did. And 3rd and 4th gear, just boom, it was gone.
I don't know that I can give that secret away.
We added rebound.
Kenneth, buddy, you know, there'll be days like this, unfortunately, and this has to hurt. But, you know, fortunately for us, you are one of our greatest sportsmen, no question of that. You always have a smile, win, lose, or draw, and this may be the brightest smile I've ever seen on that tough of a loss.
Right. Well, it's Tony. Tony needed to win, and I slept on the line, and my car ain't running. And I don't know what's the matter with it, so I'm glad he won.
Well, you're like me. Maybe it's not that you're so glad he won, but if it had to be somebody, it's just good it was him.
Tony's worked on his car all morning. Then he goes out there and goes up against me, and he's like, you know, he's down because he knows, and then he outruns me. So, you know, it couldn't happen no better way.
I understand. Well, I can tell you that he was quite excited. He was giving away his speed secrets, and I told him I don't think I would have told that. Anyway, brother, we'll see you at the next race, and we wish you luck for the season.
Thank you.
What a great interview right there. And here's a man that can make up some points today is Ben Christopher in this 48 Anglia. He's going to take on Robert Frazier out of Bristol, Tennessee. Good to see him back in that black and blue car.
That it is, David. Robert kind of doing double duty as a crew chief, I guess, with him and his wife, Rita's hot rod that she's racing now. Ben just simply gone down the racetrack. You see that old car getting a little bit wild. That's kind of what we like in the Southeast Gasser Association. We don't like all them smooth, straight runs like you see today. We like them wild. JT, Justin Moses, taking on Shannon Smith, past world champion and steadily moving up in the points lead, and just may be in a position to capitalize or even to score with Kenneth Phillips. Now that Kenneth has gone out first round, Shannon Smith, if he can survive the day, he will stand up right beside of Kenneth Phillips when they pull out of this parking lot.
Saw Justin Moses' beautiful wife Jenny getting him in there, and oh, he goes red, giving the race right over to Shannon Smith. But he knew he had a tall order there, Justin Moses did, and turns on that red light.
Shannon, it may or may not be news to you, but the points leaders just went out first round. We was talking about this earlier today. This is a gift, brother. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but hey, this is an opportunity to even that score.
It's going to be tough because I just lost third gear. So Justin shouldn't have red lit on me because he would have had that pass. But
are you serious? I mean, you've got a broken issue.
Yeah, third gear is gone, but we're going to try to find something to fix it shortly. Hopefully, this is not tough on a lot of guys today.
Well, I hate to hear that. I mean, but, you know, that is racing. But as I said, we was talking about the likelihood of him doing something wrong, and he did. And now you are in a position to capitalize, but you may not be able to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be the only problem I see right now. But we're going to shoot for it.
That's why this is not for the weak of heart.
Right. Thank you.
The Southeast Gassers Association has received many blessings since its inception. But one of the major blessings that we've had was the involvement of Sonny Hall. We lost Sonny last year, early this year, but his legacy goes on. And part of that legacy was he was the visionary behind the creation of these two cars, Houston and Hubert Platt. These were two brothers that raced Ford and Chevrolet, and they raced hard against one another in the 60s and later. Another blessing added to that is the fact that their two sons, Alan and Rocky Platt, had desire and interest to come out and drive these cars as an exhibition race to honor their fathers and their racing heritage from back in the 60s. Alan, Rocky, I cannot say how important it is to the racing history of these AFX type cars from that era. And then your parents, your fathers, were so instrumental and so dominant back then. And now to have you two guys driving these cars, it has to be an extremely memorable experience for you.
It really is. I got to be honest, the first time I drove the car down the track and came back down the return road, I had tears running down my eyes because this is about Houston and Hubert. It's not about Alan and I. It's about keeping drag racing history alive and what they did for drag racing. And we're very blessed to be able to do this.
Alan, Hubert, he was the Ford guy in the family. And was the rivalry really kind of that much Ford Chevrolet as you may remember it as a younger child or teenager?
I do. It was a big deal. You know, they were both loyal to their brands, and that just made it all the much more exciting for fans. And they billed it as that. You know, it's a grudge match. These two brothers, brother versus brother, Ford versus Chevy, and it was a big deal for the fans. You know, they really loved that through the years.
Rocky, for you, was it really? Did the blood run that deep to the Chevrolet and Ford brand in your house?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I bought my first Ford about 4 years ago, and I know Dad turned over in his grave when I bought a Ford. Because we've been diehard Chevy people my whole life. And I'm 56 years old, and I've been Chevrolet my whole life, and that's just how it was.
You know, as we were saying in the intro there, we can't, even discuss this without the involvement of Sonny Hall, and God rest his soul. And we know, because he was a Christian, that he is in God's grace in heaven right now. But, we wish he could be with us, but we did get to have him for a while. And he blessed us yet again with these cars, and then involving you two guys. I mean, it's just amazing how that circle is, in my opinion, now complete. And we could not be more happier than have you. And Rocky, you are not only involved in this racing of your dad's car, a replica of your dad's car, but you're actually out here beating the woods, beating the bushes, and helping to promote Southeast Gassers from a business standpoint.
Yes, you, Quayne, and Stephen got me involved in this, and it's just a passion now. Southeast Gassers means so much to old school drag racing. It means so much to the Platt family by doing this. And I can't not do it, because I just see the future of the Southeast Gassers and what we have to bring.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just can't get any better than that. I've wanted to take the opportunity to showcase not only these two cars, but these two guys.
Man, second round of C gas right here. The lights are coming on. There you see the headlights on John Gilligan's car. And he's going to be taking on none other than the young blood, Josh Pruitt.
Gilligan was last year's winner, but David, buddy, it ain't no surprise. He's got a young, thirsty young man, Josh Pruitt, on the other side, who has won races and has climbed the ladder. They've struggled this year with some issues, but and even at this race, Friday night, they had the motor, transmission, everything, driveline related out of this car, working on it. I don't know to what hours of the night, but I tell you, from the first round in qualifying, I believe it paid off. Josh is in a good position today. Gilligan knew it, and going red, Josh Pruitt, a clean win in round 2.
Yeah, you saw earlier Shannon Smith thrashing on his transmission. The same thing was going on last night for the young blood, and everybody pitching in the pits, making it happen.
Josh, last night had the testing, had some problems, clutch, I think. You had the motor, transmission, everything tore out of this car. It looks like the job, the effort to get it all back together may have been well worth it.
Yeah, it was late night. It was about 1 o'clock when we got done. We had the motor out, had the transmission out. It was a whole lot of fun, but it's doing a lot better than it was last night, so hopefully we got enough for the rest of them, so we'll see.
Well, I can tell you from our point of view down here, it sounded really good. So we don't get to see them down here, but we can hear them, and man, did it sound good. We'll look for you in the next round.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coming up next, there you see Kelvin Cannon in the Fat Girl. He's going to be taking on another big wide load, the Double X of Todd Oden at 58 Delray, and our defending world champ.
Todd Oden, I don't know about him and his dad Lester. They started campaigning an A-gas car this year, David. They sold that which is now being campaigned in B-gas under the Moonshot. I don't know if they done that to focus on A-gas or C-gas and winning the points. They tell me that they're building a car. I believe it's a 57 wagon, going to be a cool A-gas car. But right now, I do know that the Fat Girl has taken a long shot. Is it going to pay off? No, it's not.
You saw Rocky getting real excited there on the starting line, because Kelvin Cannon with a big starting line advantage. But that big horsepower in that Double X Delray come back around and look at that hole shot.
I don't know what Todd was thinking, but that was almost a very costly mistake.
You owe that win to Father Lester, because they said you were behind on the starting line.
Oh, yeah, I was asleep and caught a nap and then woke up, and thank the Lord the car run like it was supposed to, because I was all off sync. I mean, I got bad off sync. I don't know what happened.
Like I said, from what I understood, I think Lester won that one.
Absolutely. We'll keep plugging along, because I got to do better than that.
Well, the next round right here, it's going to be a good one. Tony Zampata versus Larry Noel, who's the current points leader. But, man, you got to see right in front of him. He saw Todd Oden win that round, so he knows he needs this one, Mitch.
Larry Noel has one job to do today, David, and that is to make rounds because he has a 5-point lead over his closest competitor. And the fact is, if he can win rounds, if he can win the race today, then nothing changes in the points position. If he goes down a round early and the next guy comes in and wins, hey, they leave here tied or behind in points. So this could be a shift. Larry Noel's got to win this round. It looks like from this vantage point that he's on the way, and I believe he does.
Yeah, used a whole shot advantage to do that, Mitch. Tony Zampata getting a lot of horsepower. Look at that car bucking around. Hard to hold on to, but that crazy horse gets right down the racetrack and moves on to round number 3.
Larry Noel, I understand that the crazy horse was trying to kick the shoes, buddy. She's a running, and I understand you laid the tree down. A righteous win.
Really? Hey, we're up there doing our thing. We know we get up there and just hammer down and try to do our best, and I'm just glad to be making rounds, you know.
Well, you're definitely making rounds, and you know you've got a close competitor on you in them points, and obviously it's one tough Todd Oden. But hey, if you keep making rounds, he can't do anything about it.
Well, we're hope to see him in the finals and take care of that today.
There you see Cynthia Phillips right there in the flower power taking on Rick Cathcart. These two have raced each other quite a few times so far, Mitch.
David, Rick Cathcart has got to be thinking, when is this girl going to outrun me? Because I think that it's coming. You know, if I may say that. Cynthia, I tell you, I watched her up here. She drove this car with absolute precision this entire weekend. A dab more horsepower, and this right here, I'm just going to tell you, Cynthia, I believe, would have won that race had she not red lighted with just a touch more horsepower. Not to take anything from Rick, but Rick has got to be concerned that somewhere in here, Cynthia Phillips will start paying him back.
And there you see that red light, but look at that Studebaker getting those wheels up in the air again.
Rick Cathcart, buddy, they tell me down here that she was gunning for you, that she had a little bit of advantage, but the old troublemaker had the power to drive back around.
Come on that time, baby. But she was right there. I seen her front end all the way.
You was concerned the entire time. I'm telling you, she stepped the game up.
Concerned. It's her time, buddy. I got to be on my game now.
I'm going to say you better. I've watched her make a few runs here the last night and today, and she's really stepped up. So, Rick, you might want to really start causing trouble yet again.
I'm going to have to.
Look for you in the next round, brother.
Looking forward to this round of B-Gas right here as you see the slingshot, our number 1 qualifier, Todd Blackwell, taking on the young gun, the rod slinger himself, Adam Lowhorn.
David, Adam Lowhorn, as I said, the rod slingers, they call him. He calls himself. His dad, Mike Lowhorn, great guys. They take this car all over the place. You know, they're doing burnout contests, you know, wheelie contests, all sorts of things. And he used to drive this car to school in his high school days. And someone just found out he's got a really cool, if you can believe this, AMX Javelin at home in the shop. However, Todd Blackwell slingshot, the news of the day. This car is as fast as always, leading the points with a healthy margin. And from what I could see in qualifying in first round, he ain't got no plans of letting go of that.
No, he doesn't. And look at the horsepower come back around him. Even after he may have got a little baby hole shot put on him by Adam Lowhorn, that horsepower under the hood there just drives right back around.
Adam definitely leaving in front of him, but as you said, that Todd Blackwell horsepower produced by Parr is just too great. Zach Hall, Jeff Madden. Zach Hall, he's he was basically our C-Gas or used to be D-Gas champion there for a while, moved to C-Gas and back and forth. So I think he's pretty solid in B-Gas right now, along with Jeff Madden over here. Jeff's car running great this weekend, so this is going to be a good race.
Yeah, 400 small block in Charleston, South Carolina, Jeff Madden's car, and he has got it dialed in. Let's see if he's got enough to beat Bluntwell, Tennessee's Zach Hall.
That, I tell you, good drag race cup. Jeff Madden taking the win. As I said, Jeff's car doing great this weekend.
Yeah, there you see the starting line advantage and the flash bulbs going off. All the fans here in Lyons.
You get that? Jeff, you've been telling me that you were going to be making rounds and stopping to talk to me. Doggone if you ain't done it. Great job, brother. Woo! Going into the third round, man, I tell you, this is rocking and rolling, T.
Man, what?
I'm at a loss. I'd like to thank my sponsors. Oh, hang on, I don't have any. Okay.
You're like Tim Bailey, Hip National Bank.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Good job, brother. We'll be looking for you in the next round. Righteous win, my friend.
Thank you.
There's another battle of the Chevy 2s, and James Beard seems to be at the middle of all of them. Going to take on Sykeston, Missouri's Danny Bird in the Junkyard Dog right here, Mitch.
David, Danny Bird. This guy's just got so much experience. You better come to the starting line really with your total A-plus game. Not saying that James is not, but this is a good drag race with Danny taking the win. You know, it's just to beat Danny Bird, you really got to be good.
Well, seeing James Beard advance this far is an accomplishment. Him and his dad, Dan, great people, been working real hard on that obsolete 2. Big round of racing right here as you see the number 1 qualifier, Jeff Jacobson, in that 55 Ford Fairlane. He's going to be taking on Steve Davis out of Monroe, North Carolina in the Pawpaw Spinning.
David, this is the kind of drag race that I have to believe is a lot of what these people that buy a ticket to see. You got a classic Ford versus Chevrolet, 2 beautiful cars, 2 hard racers, 2 winning, capable drivers. This old Ford got the mysterious, world-famous overhead cam, single overhead cam Ford Hemi engine in it. Paw Spinny over there, just a tried-and-true Chevrolet blend of horsepower. This is going to be a great drag race. I tell you what, this is just what I've come to the starting line to watch. I know it's what other people want to see.
2 big-bodied cars getting the wheels up off the ground. This looks like it's going to be a good drag race. Jeff Jacobson taking the win right here in that scare lane.
That he was, David, of the whole gamut here. A good drag race from start to finish. Both cars moving around on top end. Everything that the Southeast Gassers has to offer.
Look at that finish, Mitch.
Hey, brother, take off that American flag helmet. That right there's a righteous win, Jeff Jacobson. That big 427 mysterious overhead cam Ford motor laying out the horsepower all day long.
Yep, she's running strong today.
Well, that is a beautiful thing, son. This car has done great. We've all been waiting to see this car make rounds and win races. Made rounds. Maybe this is the day that we win a race.
We're hoping. She got a little squirrely on the big end on that one, but...
just grit your teeth and hold on.
Yep, she's making more power. The weather's turning around.
We'll be looking for you in the next round.
Now, Mitch, here is the opposite end of the spectrum. This is the big and the little of it. There you see Barry Lynn in the little red wagon, the 1965 Chevelle wagon, taking on Ben Christopher in that little 48 Anglia.
David, Ben has been there. Ben's been kind of the top of the heat. I don't think he's actually won a complete drag race, but I know he's been in the finals. On the other hand, we have Barry Lynn over there, who is due some round wins and a race win, especially with the power and the performance that car is making this year. That car is due. Will it be this run or not? We won't know until just a few more seconds pass, but right now, this has the makings of another great Southeast Gassers Association A-Gas drag race.
Ben Christopher getting a drop on him on the line in the little Anglia. He's trying to catch up with that big 477 cubic inch big block, but cannot do it right here as Ben Christopher takes the win. Look at the starting line camera. Pretty close right there. And Ben Christopher marches on.
Ben Christopher, another round, brother. That sets up a good match going into the 3rd round of A-Gas. Hey, just may be a day for the Anglia.
I hope so. This thing's been skating on ice out there. You see the top end, it's just, I'm having to pedal it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Jeff Jacobson was just saying the same thing about his car. I said, just grit your teeth and hold on, brother. Let her go.
You know my struggles. The pain is real sometimes.
That it is. We'll be looking for you in the next round.
Well, here's the giant killer, Tony Turner, going to try to slay another big dragon right here in that big yellow 1955 Pale Rider of Shannon Smith's.
Taking on the ever-colorful, quick and dirty 39 Dodge Big Hemi fuel-injected power of Tony Turner. Lovely lady Kim Marie Turner backing him up, his wife. And I tell you, David, I hate to keep saying it, every race is a good one, but dadgummit, I can't help it. That's what makes the Southeast Gassers Association so special, is the diversity and the accuracy of these cars, the staging line camera, Hoosier race tires, Sunoco fuels, everything, round clutches going on here. The whole event sponsored by One-Way Cylinder Heads. This is going to be a drag race for drag races. Tony Turner needs it. Tony Turner's got to want it, but Shannon Smith has left first.
Sure has. Look at those great shots by Drone South right there. As you see them leave the line, boy, Shannon Smith, just color him gone. Their transmission problem is fixed in the Pale Rider.
What a great shot hanging on the side of that car. It gives you a sense of the speed, the violence, the fire coming out of the pipe, and how quick Shannon was just moving away. You don't give Shannon Smith an advantage at no point because he brings them with him.
Did you win? We wouldn't be flagging you down, not likely, if you didn't win. Yes, that was a win, Shannon. And, brother, what an effort to get to this point. As we were talking earlier, it is an opportunity to capitalize on Kenneth Phillips' misfortune. This is your day. You guys tear up a transmission. You put in a spare. Everybody over there working. Parts are slinging everywhere. I know because we got it on video, and here you are, another round win, and you are on your way into the third round, my friend.
Woo! Boy, that felt good. Anybody see that?
No, not down here. All we can do is hear it.
See my headlight point to the sky, anything like that?
We didn't see that.
Was on, baby.
Southeast Gassers Association has for the last 7 years stood for just that, the gasser categories of the 1967 era and earlier. However, last year we had Robert Peffley and Mike Wyatt. They kind of came to our leader Quayne Stott with an idea. They said, what if we were to implement the super stock category of that same era into the Southeast Gassers Association? Well, I don't think there's anyone living who would not think that that is a neat idea. And so Quayne quickly grasped that idea through the suggestions of Mike and Robert, and they even came down and we had like a lunch meeting and things of that nature. But at the end of that meeting, I think it was well and decided that Robert Peffley, Robert, good to see you today, brother, and Mike Wyatt had been appointed to head this thing up, to test the water, to kind of see what the pulse of the rest of the nation would be in bringing back true, accurate 67 and earlier super stock cars. In your opinions, do you think that we're going to have interest and this is going to be a category for 2019?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got a list at home with at least 10 cars that are getting built right now. We should have at least a few more cars show up by the end of the year. Interest is growing. At the beginning of the year, we had just swarmed us with interest. Our phones were blowing up left and right all day long. It's more calm now, but we still have constant interest. So it's looking good for next year for sure.
Robert, you and Mike share duties, as we was just saying. Are you getting the same interest? I think you was telling me a while ago you kind of handle the Chrysler guys, and he handles the Ford guys, and y'all kind of the outcast Chevy guys, y'all kind of split them. But so, all Joe, we'll build that challenge already. What wins on Sunday sells on Monday mantra. Are you seeing the same things?
Yes, I'm seeing the same things. I've had a lot of Mopar guys get a hold of me and other brands, but I'm seeing the same thing. A lot of cars getting built. A lot of guys going, I got a body. What power plants can I run? What combinations can I run? Asking questions about parts.
And for those of you watching, that is part of the allure of the super stock category. This is a category that takes a stock-bodied car. It's not some exotic tube chassis, narrowed rear end, big slicks. It's none of that. Matter of fact, Hoosier Tire Corporation has stepped up and said that we will build a spec tire specifically for the Southeast Gassers Association super stock category 2019. So that's already in the works. We're definitely planning on this being a category. Now, the other thing is the interest that we feel is there is because I'm not going to say you can do this cheaply, but I am going to say you can do it inexpensively. There's going to be a lot of exposure. Southeast Gassers has already proven that we have not only nationwide, but a degree of worldwide exposure for our racers. So that is same aspects going to be there because we're going to show and showcase the super stock cars just the same as we do the Gassers. In fact, I've said to these guys, it very well may be my category of choice because I love the Superstock cars simply due to the fact that it is so relatable to what I was doing as a teenager, and it was literally what you could go buy on the showroom floor. What wins on Sunday sells on Monday mantra, and the Ford, Chevrolet, and Chrysler battles was never no greater than in Superstock.
Exactly. And we get a lot of people that come up and talk to us during the events, and you get a lot of, man, I rode in one of those to high school, or I rode with one of those with my mom all the time. And so that's a really cool factor of it is seeing the cars that everybody grew up with, and you saw, and like you said, what wins on Sunday sells on Monday. It doesn't get any better.
Very briefly, I know that you guys were kind of left to establish the ruling for the motors, the power plants. So you decided, and I think the only fair way to do it, because for clarity, back when it was factory rated horsepower is how these cars were weighed. That don't work today, okay? That rating was crazy. Yeah. So now, y'all decided to follow the weight per cubic inch, which makes it as fair can get. So now then, Mike, I'll let you tell me, how exactly is that currently established?
Right now, we have a weight break at 380 cubic inches.
Okay.
Anything that's 379 inches or lower weighs at 9.5 pounds per cubic inch as a small block. Anything 380 and higher is 8.5 as a big block.
Okay, all right.
So, granted, right now, the way the rules are written, if you have a 400 small block, it can weigh 8.5 pounds. Okay. And we haven't had any Chevrolets show up to test that rule, so it's standing.
Okay.
Granted, if somebody shows up with a Chevy 2 with a 406 and cleans their clocks, that might change. Okay. But they haven't shown up, so we haven't worried about it.
So as that stands now, and we are going to reiterate, that could change. It's not going to be a major change. It may just going to be something small. But that is how we see it now. So anybody that catches this video and has interest, that's the baseline. So most definitely look for us in 2019, Southeast Gassers Association Superstock category. I promise you it will be one of the most intriguing and interesting categories that we have ever offered, and we know that it's going to be a part of the massive growth of the Southeast Gassers Association.
Great interview, great insight, Mitch, onto what's going to be here to come. And right now before us, we got Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede, a 67 Plymouth Barracuda. I'm sorry, that's a Belvedere.
That's a big Barracuda.
Yeah, it was. That's a Belvedere, so I'm having to get used to a few of these cars. Take it on Mike Wyatt in the Soul Sacrifice.
Soul Sacrifice. This hot rod is all Ford, all Chrysler battle. Good racing here. Robert Peffley been telling me that the Fords is going to win no more races because Mike won the last one, and I believe he's standing firm to his word. Now, I tell you, this Superstock category, this is going to be the thing, in my opinion, David. I look so forward to it.
Yeah, don't see many 67 Plymouth Belvedere wagons, but you will see them here in the Southeast Gasser Superstock division.
You know, Robert, we may have had a little bit of confusion a while ago thinking that you had a buy round or something. Doesn't matter. You're just beating your way to the finals no matter who's over there.
We're taking them out every one at a time. These Fords ain't taking it today. I'm not letting them have it.
They just ain't got it, but you got one more that could be in your way, but you say that's not a problem.
Not a problem today. We're going to get it.
Is this thing running so fast that I see the dome light hanging down?
It is. That sucker knocks the dome light out of it every pass. That's how you tell that this thing is on a pass.
You go by the dome light. Okay.
Go by the dome light.
Hey, brother, we'll be looking for that dome light in the next round.
Mark Hackett right here out of Lebanon, Tennessee, and a beautiful Comet right here.
That is a Comet Caliente. I tell you, I not know exactly what the Caliente was. Obviously, it was a special package with the Mercury Comet, but this is an absolutely beautiful prime example of what that car would have been in Superstock back in the day, and I just can't get enough of them. I like the way they spin, and speaking of spinning, I can't wait to see what to do on them Hoosier tires next year, David.
I hear you, buddy. Hey, we might have had a little confusion on the other round thinking there was some buy around. Actually, it went to you. But, hey, the way the cars turned out, it's still a Ford Chrysler final.
It sure is. And I tell you what, that wagon of Robert Peffley's is tough, but we're gonna show him something here in just a little bit.
Well, he had this dome light hanging down. He said every time she's on a good run, the dome light's hanging down when he gets finished. So let me give you a little advice. He says it's running good, so be ready.
Good deal. All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Getting down to the final four here in C-Gas, Larry Noel and Josh Pruitt Points battle right here as Larry's still leading, but Josh Pruitt trying to make up some ground from that number 3 position that he sits in.
David, this is a proving round for Josh Pruitt. As we've said, Josh Pruitt has won races. He's done great, but he hasn't won really any races this year. I think it's been towards the middle of last year since he won. They've just been plagued with problems. We'll talk about an opponent. He's pulled up beside a Larry Noel. Larry and Sandy Noel current leading the points, and rightfully so, because they have just made no mistakes. The car has won races. It runs fast. It qualifies high. It has everything that Josh Pruitt is being challenged by. If Josh can pull this win off, I tell you, he's not only going to be happy with himself and the team, going to be exuberant, but I'm going to bet you there's going to be one Todd Oden sending him a Christmas card this year if he can pull this win off, because Todd is on Larry's tail for the points championship.
There they are leaving the line. Larry Noel bucking around on that crazy horse. Let's see who it'll be at the line. Josh Pruitt takes the win on the big end.
Josh Pruitt has just done what maybe would have been the unthinkable. I don't think anybody was prepared for that to happen with the season they've had so far. But as I said, I'm betting you Todd Oden sends him a Christmas card this year.
Talk about a juggernaut here. I mean, that is the points leader, Larry Noel. You put him on the trailer, you got a ticket to the finals, young man.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't easy. That's a fast car, but got a faster car next, so it's going to be a good round.
That it is. What did you do there? Just a good reaction time? You think that was your advantage here?
Yeah, I got a good tree, so it helped me enough, and I was on the rev limiter. Well, fixed to be on the rev limiter. I was up there, but I left good, and the car worked good for us, so it's a good.
I know the team's going to be ready to see you. Good luck, brother. See you in the final round.
Thank you.
Larry Noel, a loss sometimes can be painful, but in this case, you got a reprieve because your tail dragger went out as well.
Yeah, I found that out. As a matter of fact, his wife walked down through and said he red lighted, and I'm like, really? Well, he didn't gain no points on me, right. So we'll leave out of here with him still behind me by 5, I believe.
That's right.
And we'll head towards, we go to his home track next, don't we?
Yeah, I think we're going to be close to him, so he could have the home time advantage. What better place to outrun him?
I'm going to try.
Other semifinal matchup right here, Pitt's a world champ. Todd Oden going to take on the troublemaker, Rick Cathcart, and that truck running real good today, Mitch.
David, no doubt, Rick Cathcart may have made the biggest improvement in performance this year of anybody in C-Gas. I still say that Larry Noel made the biggest improvement in driver abilities or qualities, but Rick may have made the biggest improvement in performance. Now, he is going to need everything, getting that window up, ready to do business. He's going to need everything he can possibly muster to take out that gentleman right there, Double X 58 Chevrolet, current champion, Todd Oden, who is hungry because he now has an opportunity to settle the score and even the points with Larry Noel.
Oh, and Todd goes red. Man, Rick Cathcart's going to move to the finals against Josh Pruitt, and you got to think, Mitch, he didn't want to be late like he was before against Rick Cathcart.
I think he knows Rick is running, but not only that, David, you know, it's not been a good day for him. He's late one round, and he's way early the next.
I don't know how much trouble you can cause, brother, but let me tell you, you just put out a man who was poised to take the points lead away today. You tore his chances up. He can't do that.
My first final, my friend. It's time.
Exclusion of the final, it's time. Do you know how much trouble you just caused?
I've caused a bunch, and I'm going to keep on doing it.
Todd, you know, buddy, you may have lost a round, but the good news is I was just telling Larry, you two guys leave just the same as you came. Nobody gained nothing. So while you might have had an opportunity to capitalize, at least nothing changed.
Well, I hate to miss opportunity, but I tell you, it's if I'm ever going to lose a round, Rick's the kind of guy I want to lose a round to. A great friend, a great competitor, always here for the association, just a stand-up guy. So, you know, I congratulate him, and I'm happy for him. I don't like losing, but I'm happy for him.
There's Danny Bird with a bye run right here in competition, so he'll move on to the finals.
Yep, his qualifying position, David, you know, we had an odd number of cars in B-Gas, and so that fell on Danny Bird's behalf. Just take him an easy run down now and then. Todd Blackwell, Jeff Madden. Jeff Madden has the job of the day to take out that man right there, Todd Blackwell, the slingshot dragster who is beginning to run away with the big-ass points.
And Jeff Madden feeling awfully good about his position, but it is the first time he's made it this far in competition, and he has nothing less than the points leader and winner of our last 3 races in Todd Blackwell to take out right here.
Those good vibrations better be turned into some wicked horsepower, because I'm going to tell you, he's going to need it. He's got to take every advantage he can get on the starting line. He needs an absolute killer bulb, and on that, which a great leave, he was certainly ready for Todd, but I don't know if he's going to have enough to pull it off. He is not. Todd Blackwell is just, here is an onboard camera. Look at the violence of that car. Madden never coming into the picture.
Yeah, that's another great shot by Drone South right there. And there you see the margin of victory. It really gets stretched out by Todd Blackwell and that big power horsepower under the hood.
You know, if I didn't know better, I'd think you was trying to avoid me. We're going into the finals, my friend.
Yes, sir. I've seen this everywhere. I thought it might have been one of those combines out one of the cornfields, lights shining down, so I wasn't really sure.
Well, we got this blood moon going on tonight and bright lights shining in your eyes. Who knows? It could have been a UFO, but, brother, we missed you on the round before. Good job being in poised for the finals. And, hey, man, I think you really got a grip on this points thing.
Well, I hope so. We're in the finals with one of the toughest contenders, I believe it is, and he's right there on our tails, you know.
Well, as I say, you know, there ain't no cakewalks these days, but as long as you're winning rounds, he can't get no closer.
That's right. Thank you.
Hey, gas semis, there's Jeff Jacobson, our number 1 qualifier, and by virtue of that and the number of cars entered, he will have a buy run right here.
That he will, David. That carrying on through the classes. We work down, you know, these cars that were number 1 qualifier. If there's odd number, look at these cars making horsepower, getting loose. That's what we love to see. Ben Christopher, Shannon Smith, 2 notorious cars for being a little bit wild. This right here should be an exciting drag race, win, lose, or draw on either part. Who cares about winning and losing right now? This is just going to be a spectacle to see based on, I know these 2 cars are going to be wild races down the racetrack. Now, speaking of, Shannon needs this win, so does Ben Christopher, so there's going to be no easy passes here. This is going to be a fight, which is going to make those ill-handling cars that much more interesting to watch, David.
Smith, number 2 in the points. Christopher, number 3, trying to make up more ground on Kenneth Phillips' big lead. Man, Shannon Smith's car darts to the wall, and he is pulling away, and at the end, Ben Christopher with a violent move to the left, but Shannon Smith takes the win. Like, as you can see, that car bouncing around the track.
As I said, these 2 guys were going to fight this one to the finish line regardless of the position those cars were in.
Look at that finish line camera.
Shannon Smith, my friend, you know, the long trip, the hours of work just may well have been worth it. You got one thing standing in your way, and that's a very focused and determined Jeff Jacobson with, might I add, a very fast race car. But the old 55 is far from a slouch.
Yeah, he got a bad race car. The good thing is, so do I.
So we got a pairing here. I'm going to give you a little information. You went down the racetrack, sounds pretty good. He seemed to be having trouble. This could be your ace in the hole.
I don't wish any trouble on him. I hope it's a good race, but I've been wanting to race him for a long time.
Well, son,
for a long time. Let me put it that way.
Well, beat or race, either one, you are fixing to be served up that opportunity.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for it.
We're looking for you in the finals. Southeast Gassers Association, we make available to outside companies the opportunity to sponsor or to market with us, not only on a yearly basis, but also on a race-by-race basis. Last year, Sam Jones, a drag racer of drag racers from the 60s and the AA supercharged gasser categories, decided, because of what he and his son Jeff had seen in the Southeast Gassers Association, that they were going to build an actual car to compete, and that they did. But more is there equally as important, they decided this year, 2018, for the Lyons, Indiana race, to be an event sponsor. Now, One-Way Cylinder Heads is made up of a trio of people that not only includes the great Sam Jones, as I was speaking about, but his son Jeff Jones, Sam Jones, and Chris Grace. Gentlemen, it is obvious that One-Way Cylinder Heads is a technological leader in advanced cylinder head design and production and things of that right there. But one way, as I was saying earlier, can be taken many ways, like one way in, one way out of a head. Jeff exactly one way. Where did that come from? What does that name represent to you or to this company?
Well, whenever we merged our two companies, Jones Engineering and Welltech CNC Porting, we wanted our company to exemplify who we put our hope in, who is Jesus Christ. And so when we began to think about a name for our company to honor him and ask his blessing on what we do, we come up with Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and so we named it One Way.
Well, I do believe that he is the only way. That is for certain. Gentlemen, that is a blessing to y'all. You guys are a blessing to us. We're so honored to have you out here. It is just such a pleasure to begin maybe a relationship with you guys through the years. We all share the love of Jesus Christ, and we look forward to seeing each other not only here but in heaven as well. So thank you once again for your involvement with the Southeast Gassers Association.
Thank you, Mitch.
Mitch, now we're down to the Superstock final. Robert Peffley in that big wagon going to take on Mark Hackett in that Comet Caliente.
We had 3 Ford cars or Formoco products, and we also had 3 Mopar products. How ironic it is, how fitting it is that we come to the finals with a classic Ford Chrysler battle, looking in the window on Robert Peffley, getting ready to put that Chrysler on the starting line and do battle. Here we go, a little bit of smoky dig on what next year will be them Hoosier Slicks. And as I said before, I can't wait to see what they do with them, because I know the bite's going to be a little stronger and the speed going to be a little bit faster. Now, final round, David, Superstock. We've never really showcased this before. I think this is their 2nd or 3rd race with us as a test to kind of see how this is going, but I don't think there's no question Superstock is here to stay with the Southeast Gassers Association, and quite frankly, I am tickled to death about it.
Yeah, Mark Hackett getting a little bit of a jump right there. Peffley going to take the win right here in that big 67 Belvedere wagon.
Robert Peffley just rowing through them gears, a good drag race. Neither one of them walking away with it. But I tell you, the old Chrysler just had enough power to pull that big lead sled ahead of that little Comet out on the finish line. How close can you get without having to call it a tie?
You done it, son. The date is over. The deed is done. Superstock winner up here in Lyons, Indiana, the old big Plymouth.
I'm telling you, I told you today the Fords wasn't going to take it from the old Plymouth today. We're at our home track here in Indiana. Had to keep the win here in Indiana tonight.
Brother, you done it. Job well done. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Plus, kind of half one of the leaders of this whole group. So this looks like this is going to be a fun thing.
Heck yeah, it is. I've been in 3 finals now. I have problems in the other 2. I had to get that last round monkey off my back. Car ran great all day, had great weather, great facility. Can't thank Quayne and the Southeast Gassers enough for letting us do this with them, and just had a great time.
Well, you're a welcome addition to this racing association, and like you said, a lot of Fords. We had some good looking Belvederes, some different kind of cars, and Superstock really brings that forth, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and that's what we're really looking for with this deal. Is we really want to see all the makes and models out here. We'd love to get some GM products out here with us, and I think we will over time. So I think this class is just going to be a great addition no matter what.
It really is. You guys put on a great show, and hey, you'll always be the first winner.
Yep, yeah, and we got to keep it in Indiana, which you can't beat that.
So hometown guy right here, hometown state. Here's your winner right here, Superstock, Robert Peffley. And, bitch, we made it here. Rick Cathcart in that 49 Studebaker called a Troublemaker, going to take on the young blood for all the marbles here in Seagas at Lyons.
David, it's been a while since we've seen either one of these, specifically Josh, in the final round. I don't know that Rick Cathcart has ever been to a final round. I know he's been close, but I don't recall him being there. So I know who wants it the most, I believe. I believe Rick Cathcart probably wants this win the most. He's just a super cool guy, and I love his call sign, Troublemaker. Now, on the other hand, Josh, I do know this. If he wins this race, I'm going to bet his grandmother Ann is going to be cooking him some more biscuits and gravy like she promised she was going to do last year at Myrtle Beach when he won that race. Here's the thing. Either one of these guys is fitting to win this event. This is for the marbles, as you said, the final round of Seagas category, 2 Fords, truck versus car. This is going to be a pretty neat race from anybody's standpoint.
Yeah, and there you see both of them leave the line pretty much together. Rick Cathcart bouncing around right here. Good drag race in the finals. Looks like the young blood, Josh Pruitt, pulls it out on the big end.
I can't wait to see the camera here, David. This has got to be a close race, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. Just from our vantage point on the start line, it looked like this was a dead heat race. There it is. Well, not as close as I thought. Josh pulled it out. Good drag race.
Josh Youngblood Pruitt, good job, my son. Wonderful job. Back in the winner's circle yet again. I know that's rising you up in the points department because point leader Larry Noel went out a round early, and so did Todd Oden, which was on his tail. So this has got to be closing that gap.
It feels good to be back. It feels good. But it was a good race. Glad we got it, finally.
Finally, that's right. It's been a while, maybe since last year since you was in the winner's circle?
North Myrtle Beach.
Last year. A slightly over year. It does feel good.
It feels great. But I got to give thanks to the Lord. Last night, Ben Christopher, Barry Lynn, all of them that was over there helping us, because it wouldn't have been easy doing it by ourselves. And Ben lended us an engine hoist, so if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been racing. But I want to thank all of them for helping us and letting us come race.
Well, that's what it's all about in the Southeast Gassers, guys lending you tools and everything. And if it hadn't been for them, you would have made this 600-mile pull and had to go out and never made a round.
Exactly. It would have been all for nothing. But I'm glad they were there to help us.
Now, I know you got some people you want to thank. Who's here with you?
I got my Aunt Debbie, Cody, my Uncle Billy, and my dad.
All right, family affair here for the young blood, Josh Pruitt, winner tonight in C Gas. Congratulations, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And here's the B-Gas Finals, and there it is. This is going to be a monumental matchup. Danny Bird, the wily KG veteran, is going to take on a kid out of Campobello, South Carolina, who's been on a tear this year, and that's Todd Blackwell.
David, if there's anybody on the property with the ability and the experience to beat Todd Blackwell, it is the man parked beside him, Danny Bird. This is one of them deals to where you just don't know what's going to happen because it can really go either way. I know that Todd Blackwell, in his normal routine, he's going to win this drag race by a mile, and he's just going to build on them points. But I'm just betting Danny Bird has got some argument to say about that.
Yeah, there you see One-Way Technologies on the trunk lid. He's going to try to make that what Todd Blackwell sees as he goes down the racetrack. Let's see how it's going to turn out as both drivers pulling up to the One-Way Technology staging area. Right here, both drivers are in. Looks like Todd Blackwell with a little bit of an advantage, and that is going to be it. 4 in a row for Todd Blackwell as he takes the win right here at Wagler Motorsports Park.
Another righteous win for Todd Blackwell. Danny Bird looked like he was having some traction problems. You can see the car spinning. It never really launched. But hey, win, lose, or draw, it don't matter. Todd Blackwell won 4 races in a row, and he is tearing that points lead alive.
Todd, you and the guys at the Slingshot Race Team Scenic Tool, you've proven once again that you guys are just too tough.
Hey, we got the target on our back. The pressure was on. Was I getting a little bit more nervous on the line than normal? Yeah, a little bit.
Well, all of your competitors have 500 more brand new reasons to take you out. And for those who may not know, a $500 bounty been placed on your head, your team's head, for anyone that can take you out in eliminations. And yes, that has to play on your mind. But as I said, you guys have proved once again you're just too tough.
Yeah. The 500 bounty is, I just heard that it's actually went up a little bit more than that.
So let's just add to the pressure.
And one of I forgot who he was, but he told me that if we won this race, it's going up to 1,000. So I don't know if he was just shooting me a line trying to get me nervous or what before the race. But either way, the good Lord's been good to us. We can't walk away with another victory and get to go home with a smile on our face.
Well, God is definitely good. We will never forget that. That is for certain. And, let them put all the money they want because you get it at the end of the year if nobody beats you.
Yeah, but the odds are against me, right?
Yeah, not from what I can tell for the past part of the year. I think the odds are in your favor.
And maybe so. Thank you, sir. First of all, I'd like to thank the good Lord for giving us the good night, keeping everybody safe and first and foremost. As far as I know, everybody had a good time. All the good winners. We got 2 from Campobello, South Carolina to win. Congratulations goes to Josh. And thanks to my family for showing up. They always come and supporting, and it's been a good night.
Here's your B-Gas winner here at Wagler Motorsports Park, Mr. Todd Blackwell. Congratulations, Todd.
Thank you.
Mitch, as you like to call them, the kings of the sport, the stars of the Southeast Gassers are on the track right now for our A-Gas Finals. There you see Shannon Smith. He's going to be taking on Jeff Jacobson out of Beloit, Wisconsin in the scare lane.
This is 55 Chevrolet against a 55 Ford, two beautiful prime examples of their body styles from the time. Both of them big block powered machines. This would have been, the big block Chevrolet, kind of early they called it the mystery motor, over against the single overhead cam Ford, which was definitely the mystery motor for years. Had a lot of promise to Ford that never came to fruition until later years when technology caught up with that motor. Nonetheless, this is going to be a great drag race. Shannon needs it in order to do something about the points lead that he has the opportunity to take over. But, I do know that Jeff Jacobson over here wants a win. He's won one race with us before, maybe two. Definitely needs this one. His wife, beautiful wife, Amanda, and his son Xander at home. Xander's sick, so Amanda couldn't come and be with him here. So I know that he's wanting to make his time away from them worthwhile, and perhaps a win would do it just for him. So here it is, the two final gladiators of the A-gas category preparing to do battle. The swords are drawn. They are ready to go head-to-head. Here it comes. Shannon taking a moment to come in. Stage lights are on. The green is on. Righteous drag race underway. Both cars moving. Look at Shannon Smith out of trouble, but still fighting to try to catch up with that Ford, but it just wasn't going to happen.
No, both cars, big wide-body cars, Shannon all over the place, doing a heck of a driving job. But Jeff Jacobson keeping that Ford straight down the racetrack, you got to think that could have been the difference in this drag race today.
Jeff Jacobson, the deed is done. Hometown racetrack, so to speak, about as close as we get to you up here in Lyons, Indiana. The guys back in Wisconsin, they're going to be happy. That is correct. Wisconsin, isn't it?
That is correct. Whew, I'm on cloud nine.
I know you are.
I did this for my wife, Amanda, and Xander. They're at home watching, and holy crap, I can't believe it.
Well, great job. I know you guys have worked and you've struggled so hard. You've got one of the most beautiful race cars on the circuit, one of the most unique race cars on the circuit. It has certainly been running good. It's due a win. A win has finally came. What a great time. And yes, Mom, Amanda, and son Xander at home, taking care of Xander. I know he's in good hands. So now, brother, you just drive careful on the way home and you'll be able to cherish this victory with them.
We will. I love you, Amanda and Xander. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good job. We will see you, hopefully, at the next race.
Good weekend.
It is. Jeff Jacobson bringing home the win tonight here at Wagler Motorsports Park. Jeff, man, the smile on your face tells the whole story.
Yep, this has been great. The only thing we're missing is my wife and Xander. She's at home rooting us on, though, so...
Yeah, she made a great post. Had the kids, Xander had his shirt on and everything. I know you wish they were here, but, man, it's going to be great when you get home with his first victory, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, Jeff Jacobson, we are so happy for you. The A-Gas winner here tonight at Wagler Motorsports Park, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Mitch Stott wrapping up Wagler Motorsports Park here at Lyons Dragway. What an incredible day of racing.
David, this has to be one of the most incredible days. And I say that not only for the facility and the crowd we had, absolute overflow, but do you realize that through all of the championship situation points, as close and tight as they were, nothing really moved. And the deal couldn't have been more surreal than with Larry Noel and Todd Oden. They are 5-point separation. What a great day of racing. God blessed us so much. We got Racers for Christ chaplain here with us today. He said our opening prayer and all of those things. And so we just been blessed today, bro. That's all I know to say.
And Jeff Jacobson's win in A-Gas, what a celebrated win that is for that beautiful race car.
It is. And as I said, that that ever so mysterious camera, single overhead cam engine, what an engine for Ford that was, that never really seen fruition until just some years ago. And so that thing just making massive horsepower. Yeah.
It is, and Kenneth Phillips going out early, but he's got a big, huge lead. That was a little bit of an anomaly, but Tony Turner just whole-shotted him. What a great day that was for Tony Turner.
And Kenneth, being ever the gentleman and the sportsman he is, that was a tough loss for Kenneth. It had to be, but he still had that that smile on his face, and he was happy for Tony to win that round. And even though, it opened up the door for Shannon to come in and close the door, Shannon has transmission troubles, but they did work through it. Shannon goes to the finals but don't win, so Kenneth's still in the lead. It's just been a day, and man, I'm telling you, the remainder of this season, points-wise, racing-wise, it's really going to be topsy-turvy.
It really is, and what a great way to start the second half of the season. I'm excited. I mean, it's late here, and I'm still on cloud nine. And want to thank you for being here with us today. And it would be our honor if you would take us out with our closing prayer.
It'd be my pleasure. Father God, thank you for hearing all our prayers, Father. Thank you for all the answers that we've seen today. What a beautiful day. What a great day of racing. Great spectator support, Father, and these men and women that travel so far. Father, before I forget, as they load up their equipment tonight, Father, as they strap in their family and friends, we ask that you would be with them on their trip home. Father, watch over them and keep them safe. Father, bring them back to us again. If that be within your will, we praise you, Father, all because of the love that you've shown us through your Son, Jesus. And we just love you so, Father, because you loved us first. In your holy name, we pray these things. Amen.
Amen.
We seek a higher road so far.